Okay, now let's move on to the star of the show, the U.S. Okay, so let's take a look at U.S. numbers over here. So the U.S. has administered 481 million doses, 484 million doses. Of those doses, uh, 239 million have received a single shot dose in vaccination, and 200.4 have been fully vaccinated, which gives us a first shot percentage of 71.7%, which isn't a bad number. Uh, if we say like 50%, that would mean that that would be back on May of this year is when we kind of reached that first shot uh, tipping number you sometimes hear about. And you can see that 60.02% of the population have been fully vaccinated. Okay. So now let's take a look at our final report, our final fall report. Let's take a look at the numbers for the U.S. So what you can see in the U.S. is this. Currently, since January of 2020, we've had 49.9 million cases. Since the last week of February of 2020, we've had 797,346 deaths. Okay, currently we're averaging 72,349 cases per day, which projects out to 264,000 more deaths by this time next year. We're currently averaging 1,221 deaths per day, which projects out to 445,600 a year from now. We can see here that U.S. cases have passed 2020 cases. And the third quarter of 2020, 2021 is the quarter with the third most cases so far. Now we could take a look here at the monthly cases. You can see we had this nice long declining pattern down through the spring. 6 months in a row. We had relatively low COVID-19 cases. Then we had a 2 month increase, a 1 month decrease, kind of leveled off here. It looks like December is going to finish below these numbers over here now. And what about weekly cases? Again, the big declining pattern spring and summer. July, the big spike back up. A declining pattern again. But in the last 2 weeks, we saw an increase in COVID-19 cases. What about weekly cases? You can see we spiked here on January 8th at 303,487 cases before falling back down on December the 12th at 36,818 cases. And we can see COVID-19 deaths for 2020 U.S. past 2020 deaths. Ah, good. So I am recording this. And you can see COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. past 2020 deaths. The third quarter of 2020, 2021 is the quarter of the third most deaths so far. Now we take a look at deaths by month. We look at this nice. We had a nice declining pattern going here. 6 months in a row in the spring and summer. We had a declining COVID-19 cases. Then we had this little hiccup back over here in July and August. Before now, it looks like December is going to be the third month in a row we see a decline in COVID-19 cases in the deaths in the U.S. Weekly deaths, you can see this here. Before the increase in July. Okay, now what is this increase? Is this just the fall season? Is it the Delta variant? Okay, or is it that uh, or is this because of all the unvaccinated people? It's hard to say. A bit of a declining pattern here for COVID-19 deaths on a weekly basis. Finally, looking at daily number, we can see that the daily deaths spiked at 4,442 on January 20th, before finishing at 167 on December the 12th, with an average of 1,557 deaths per day. Now, here's a question for you. For every 100,000 people in the U.S., how many people have COVID-19? Well, let's round this up to 50. It's probably about 45 to 50. So we're going to round on average for every 100,000 people in the U.S., 35 have COVID-19 or have COVID-19. And what about deaths? For every 100,000 people in the U.S., how many people are dying from COVID-19? Well, this line here is one half of a person. So right now in the U.S., approximately one half for every 100,000 people in the U.S., one half of a person is dying from COVID-19. Okay. So that concludes the report run for today. All remains to be done now is just to upload them.